Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League desk. It's time to break down Game 2 of this best of 3, and we are going all the way as we do see 3D Max with not necessarily the easiest victory, with that kind of potential time comeback halfway through, but they do secure Dust 2. And so to open this up to the desk, guys, just to break down a little bit of what we saw there was a real kind of no-respect style that you were talking about off-air before, Devil. Could you maybe explain a little bit of what were the indicators that they were playing no respect?
I mean, they were basically just pushing for map control really, really early on. They always went for the pick long. They kind of like took over short without like any contest. They just kept on going, like pushing basically everywhere, except taking like duels against Cbble. That was like, they just pushed mid, short and long, constantly putting pressure on Titan. And Titan never really got into like a breathing room situation where they could like rethink what they were doing. Because I think Vendetta was pointing out the A defense, especially on from the Titan side.
Yeah, it was just strange to watch because we've seen Titan have several different setups on that CT side, depending on what kind of teams they play. We've seen some really smart decisions depending on what kind of teams they play. If they play Na'Vi, they have a certain setup on Dust 2 to work against Guardians, Orb, along that type of thing. And they really didn't have a solid plan for 3D Max. They constantly got picked off whenever they went with 3 people towards long. They weren't even able to contest that area at all, even when they sent 3 players initially, so they had to give it up after that. And their retakes weren't working at all because 3D Max were playing their after plants really well. So for me, it was just strange to watch, and I was missing actually. It was kind of a shame that we didn't get to see the fact that Kenny S, or that old setup where Kenny S plays back at the A bomb site, and then they boost up people towards that catwalk area and basically give up long from the get-go and not even try to contest it because they didn't even manage to hold on to it really most of the time. And the few times they did get out on long because 3D Max initially pushed towards catwalk, for instance, they pushed aggressively into cave and kind of gave away the fact that they had, well, finally a good position where they could hold people off. And we saw Maniac, Apex, and many more go aggressively into cave and die several times.
And so you kind of, we need to go back to what was initially highlighted when we were first doing breaking down this game beforehand, was that you were surprised by the Dust 2 pick. Let's not forget, you were like, whoa, 3D Max choosing to play Dust 2.
It was ballsy.
I mean, yeah, that's a great way of summarizing, because you think Titan, or you thought Titan, were a strong presence on D2.
They usually are, and I consider that being one of their main maps at least. But it's been like since. I think they might be more uncomfortable with it since the Kenny S, or not the Kenny S nerf, but the AWP nerf. But they kind of concluded like, or shift in together in some sense. Because you see here, Kenny S 0.86 KDA, and I said pre-game that if they're gonna win this match, Kenny S has to have an impact. And this game, he really didn't have that impact they were looking for. So we see on basically everyone doing work for 3D Max, Corone especially pointed out, but I think Stonda did a great job with picking those entries with the AWP as well.
Yeah, well, I think it's safe to say we had a stronger Stonda than we did Kenny S on that map, a stronger AWP presence, and that was what you highlighted before, how it was going to be battle of the AWPs. And so maybe a couple of closing D2 points, but primarily let's turn our attention to Cbble here.
Cbble, well, to finish off Dust 2, I suppose, just well played to 3D Max. We could definitely see why Copenhagen Wolves wanted to veto that map instantly in their game versus the Finns. So that's really cool to see. And Cobblestone, I'm going to stick with Titan. I think they should be the better team. Right before coming here, they beat TSM on Cobblestone. 3D Max have said themselves they've, in theory, practiced Cobblestone, but they haven't really been on a server and had the time to properly practice it, even though they managed to beat Copenhagen Wolves on it.
And actually love the way, or I really like the way they actually have the setups on Cobblestone Titan, because they kind of do like a double angle hold for the main entrance to B, so they'll boost up RPK on the tree, but RPK isn't actually peeking. He's actually just hiding behind the tree, while Existence from like a smaller angle will do the peeking. So it will basically mean once Existence like gets into this when he gets contact, basically he'll have like they'll push out so far without cover for RPK that he'll basically pick up 1 or 2 frags
So he's
like every
backup,
time,
right?
Yeah,
His existence's bodyguard kind of thing.
they're baiting basically, and it's worked out great so far. And they're just playing the information. Existence is kind of like that dual guy who's actually holding drop room as well. So he has like 2 jobs. He'll check drop room and leave like the main entrance for RPK, and they kind of like work it out really smoothly. So I really like the setup they have there. So I'm actually not routing, but I'm thinking that Titan will take this, and hopefully I'm right with my 2-1 prediction.
Yeah, you did call it. And finally, just quite quickly, Halvor, your prediction for this one?
Still going to stick with Titan. I think they should be the better team on Cobblestone.
One last time, they climb trees, they're big white bears. It's pandas.
We climb trees, apparently, and we're big white bears. I'll take it. And I like the extra shot of Machine then, just leaving him a little while, you know, to sit with what he's just said. But still, 3rd map now incoming.
Do you think production did that to sort of
just
give
enjoy
him a
the
moment
moment
to think about what he just said?
Yeah,
just
bask in what you've just done. Thanks, Alex. As ever, brilliant. But Cobble.
Yeah, both the analysts seem to believe that that likely Titan's actually going to take this. Well, I mean, they're the experts, so you know what to fire them. But I'm not as confident that it's going to be that easy either.
No.
I don't know. 3D Max, they look really scary on that Dust 2 map, and
yeah,
I don't know. I think this could be closer.
I'm with you on this. I think it's gonna be one of those games where it's gonna be make or break for them, and I think that 3D Max, we saw how good they can be earlier on this map as well. I kind of hope that Natu does not get a Tech 9, whichever side he's on, regardless if it's CT or T.
Yeah, wow.
Let's pray to sweet Gaben that it does not happen. But you know, for the sake of Titan here, I'm hoping they close it out at 2-1 just for their sake, because otherwise they you know, it's quite the upset to kind of go out to 3D Max. You know, there's no disrespect to them, but you know, on paper you'd put Titan probably heads and shoulders above where, you know, 3D Max would place in a tournament like this. But 3D Max are really starting to find their footing. They did on that previous map, and I'm just hoping to see it again.
Well, it could be very interesting indeed. This map is still a map that we're learning so much about all the time. And Devilwalk and Vendetta were highlighting the importance of playing the drop zone area properly, really making sure you've got proper control in that area. We'll see if either team can come up with something really good. The style that 3D Max managed to employ on the terror side, playing Dust 2, which is really fast, rushing in packs and just getting onto bomb sites. It's going to be more tricky, I think, doing it on this particular map. The distance is a lot further, and you're going to get funneled in a lot more if you try and do it. But we'll find out. First, it's going to be the knife round.
It is, and last time when we saw 3D Max do well on this one, it was, you know, picking up the picks here and there, working off the back of it, quite standardized. So it wasn't this kind of fast Dust 2 play we saw them kind of revert to in the end. But knife round, as you said, going down here, and this is going to be big. You want to get that side, you want to feel that comfort coming into such an important map. And under 3v2, Kenny is going for a little sneaky backstab, but not going to get in. It looks like it's going to be 3D Max to pick up the knife and pick which side they start on. Now, we've seen this become a little bit more equal than the prior versions, to say the very least. It's not that CT-sided rampage as it used to be, but I want to see how this one pans out. They will be seeking to stay, so it will be CT side being 3D Max and Titan sitting on the T side.
Yeah, time to find out if Titan do belong in the semi-finals of this tournament or not. I mean, I would have picked it very likely that they could have beat almost anyone on Dust 2 at the moment, but
sure.
That wasn't going to be the case after all. So now we gotta see if they can do it on Cobblestone instead, a map that has been both the savior and also the ruin of many big teams. It seems to go sort of either way, and it almost feels like at this point that anyone who openly claims to feel confident on Cobblestone will almost automatically have a huge upset and lose on it.
Yeah, was it Na'Vi at, I'm trying to think back to Katowice now, I'm pretty sure they got absolutely destroyed by Fnatic. Well, now it was Na'Vi who got overran just drastically, so, yeah. And they said they weren't, you know, they weren't against this map, they felt okay going into it, but that swiftly changed.
Last year during Gamescom, Nip said we really practice this map a lot, and then they get destroyed by Epsilon, who never played it before, so who knows. Over at the A-long hallways, Disturbed runs into a whole pack of terrorists, and he's got 6 bullets left. Stunder picks up kill. Disturbed actually gets one, but an RPK is there with the return. Exart out in the open, fighting it out. Dropping Apex very low, but Apex still responds. Great opening now. Titan have the man lead, and they might be able to build something off with here. Karon playing behind the SWAT car, trying to get back up into the bomb site and try and defend it from up here. It's a good angle to hold right now with the USPS, looking for the one click on anyone he could find, but RPK, that's a 3rd kill, and Titan will win it.
Yeah, really big round coming for Titan, then just to kind of reset everything, reset the pacing of that last map, get themselves back into this one. And we had a couple of people translating for us during this, during the previous game. Who came in and kind of gave us an update on how maybe the Titan side were communicating during Dust 2, and it was definitely Maniac in that game, kind of being the guy to try and be like, okay guys, we can still do this, we can still turn it around, we can still bring this close, and they did. However, it didn't quite pay off in the end, hence us in the 3rd map. But let's see what they can bring now. We can look at the T side, who do have those weapons, a lot of SMGs, only 1 rifle. That's in the hands of Maniac, and spot out Disturbed. Just one in that corner. And a good few Deagles in play too here. Natu and Disturbed going for it.
3D Max without any armor either, like our Sir was pointing out. So that's very interesting. Could definitely come back to haunt them. You can actually see the aim punching effect already coming heavily into play here. The SMGs, just a few bullets and you're gone. Natu going to drop as well. And Karon, single grenade out, not going to tag anyone. They've done decent damage regardless, 3D Max. They just haven't found the kill.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think Karon's even in a position to get anything out of it. The players who were slightly lower HP, well, he does at least get Kenny S, who was fairly low, but Maniac in the end staying alive, as does Existence, the bomb being securely fastened down. Titan get themselves in a good spot now, but I'm keeping my eyes on what 3D Max bring. They're a team that have so many like small little tricks up their sleeve that occasionally they bring out, but I'm not sure if they're going to be showing much just yet. It is only 2 rounds in.
Karon bought a UMP.
Well, there we
go. He had the money, so this is just to equalize as well. He actually goes back for, wow.
Wow, he's gone head armor, smoke, and a flash.
Okay.
Solo being.
I'm wondering if this was authorized by Natu or if he's just gone rogue.
He may be a rogue agent right now. He is just playing B by himself. Everyone else had early stacked towards A, made a lot of noise, pushed out. Didn't meet any of the T players too drastically. Disturbed got a touch of damage, but not game-changing. And the T side slowing things down, just trying to get as much information as possible. And if Karon holds his nerves, he's not a bad spot to do something here, but those mollies, he's going to be forced out and going to be spotted out. You can see the pre-fire from Maniac not catching him, but game not given just yet. Zart kind of being the sacrificial lamb. It's a dangerous one for 3D Max. I don't think they get much out of this.
And the bomb is making its way back to the least defended bomb side of the 2 right now, where Disturbed's the only one holding. I feel like 3D Max really wanted to have one guy buy up with UMP. Well, why not have everyone else buy at least armor? It's very confusing. Disturbed with a kill though, and Natu can't really pick up the second one there. Karon is coming up all the way from behind. I think Maniac is holding that position as well, so he's got to be really careful. Got the UMP out, jumping into the angle, and nothing comes of it.
Yeah, really weird purchase there. Not quite a normal thing, but still, Titan, back-to-back rounds now, 3 in a row. Normally you'd get used to it, but not in this patch, it seems.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it was like it was a misbuy and then
had to roll with it.
Yeah, and then, yeah, exactly. Just say, okay, well, it happened. Just try and see what you can make of it. It does mean this time he's got a 5-7 and a smoke and a couple of flashbangs. Might not be the end of the world, but it's going to be upsetting if it comes down to him suddenly without a proper rifle making the difference.
Yeah, it really is, and I can imagine it may be a little bit frustrating for the others, but we'll see if they can make up and do what they can do elsewhere on the map. Whereas Stunder will be the one at A-long there, just holding out Apex just around that corner. Molly to follow through. He can spot it though, but Kenny just steps in. Apex comes in with that Molly, and that is pretty much A up and ready for the taking. The 2 players pushed out towards long, and the execute coming towards B. Maniac challenging out Karon, who's the only player really to do too much damage towards the opposition.
Yeah, that
ironically
pistol working out perfectly. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? Kind of opposite of what the analysis should have predicted. Exart will go down in the back lines there, and that's Kenny picking up now a double kill. And Karon, he's got a rifle, which is good news, but he can't do much to retake that A-bomb site.
No, that's locked down quite drastically. RPK, Kenny, Existence, all still up in this pretty much, full HP apart from Kenny, who's lost 2. So it's not, a big dent in that. So bomb should go off. These guys fairly secure in this, losing 2 out early on, but nothing crazy. Apex going down on Maniac as well, but Maniac kind of just soloed in towards being kind of caught out by Karan in the end. But still, good start for Titan here, and I think kind of get themselves back into that kind of, I don't know, plateaued level emotionally. You want to kind of get off to the strongest possible start, and certainly picking up the first gun round in this one is really going to help along with it. And they are going to cheeky peek around, see if they can spot her on. They knew there was a little bit of weaponry laying around there, and he does manage to make it out there. 2.9 around the others, 3.4, 3.1, not a great deal to work with. And 3D Max kind of left scratching their heads here. It's been a bit of a powerful start, I feel, for Titan.
Yeah, very much so. They need something to change it around, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. I mean, especially when you come up with a misbuy as well, it does create this awkward feeling on the team. Like our heads are not quite in the right place yet. We need to find a way back. Such a good performance on Dust 2. Don't want to let it go just yet.
Yeah, and Apex rooting for the SMG this time. These sort of ranges, I don't blame them at all. You can still do so much work towards these guys who have 0 armor. So, cautious stuff from the T's. Not really wanting to risk too much, and you can't blame them either. You don't want to give away weapons at this point, and CT side certainly looking for it, is starting to back away. Apex, literally bullet by bullet, checking these corners, leading the likes of Kenny S in towards these sites. Kenny and Apex, beautiful work. They're taking over Long again. A-Long is being dominated right now by Titan.
Yeah, the jumping shot there with the MP7, definitely very annoying. But yeah, A-bomb site is definitely going to fall here in the back lines. The SWAT car just protecting Nato for a second. Still going to fall to RPK. Now Exalt will die as well. Maniac with a good double kill. 5-0 for Titan playing T-side is pretty damn good right now. And 3D Max, they need that trigger, that catalyst to bring them back in the game. Start building just a little bit of confidence, because they displayed so much of it playing Dust 2. They just need a one foothold inside here. I think it might be possible. I mean, you can tell right now we've got collectively 6 frags on 3D Max. So while that's a little bit disturbing, it also means if they just pick up a couple of rounds here, that all of a sudden a lot can change.
We've seen it time and time again throughout this game alone. The amount of times that the momentum just shifts from one team to another, and they actually do start turning up. But let's keep our eyes on this. The first time really in a good couple of rounds, even on the same sort of buy as the rest of the team. So he's going to be sorted this time. Stonda did get, I think, a glimpse of probably 2 of the players then. Imagine RPK and Apex maybe getting spotted out. I'm not sure if he spotted Kenny S there as well. So going to trickle that information back round to the rest of the team. Keep everyone up to date with how the T's are going to be starting to form this attack. However, it's a bit of a slow process, and there's still 2 mollies actually with the CT side to put in place.
Slowly, Titan have a squad clearing on the one side of the map, while the bomb is making its way back down middle.
Yeah, it's already starting to make its way through. Maniac picking that one up, and it's kind of heading towards A. Kenny, yes, just picking Stonda out of nowhere. And that is going to put 3D Max in a dire position. Disturbed, falling back towards the site, and not yet to make it across. Zart, Karan, Natu, yet to even look towards A. Finally, Natu does start coming across, but the T side very slowly, very cautiously building in. 20 seconds now remain. Maniac on towards Natu. Maniac follows up towards Deserve, and this is just looking disastrous for the CT side. Locked out, not even a glimpse in towards the site. Almost 3 of their players didn't even know where they were going, or didn't want to commit towards that site with 20 seconds left, and already Apex on that hunt, trying to remove these guns away, and he's doing just that. Karan losing out on his, and wow, it's gonna be Zart to lose out on his. That's Apex just doing what he does best. He's just being the cleanup crew at the end, not only opening, but closing these rounds as well.
So what is interesting, and what the panel was talking about before the game as well, was a lot of emphasis on the drop zone, which we haven't even seen yet.
No, they've not even gone near it.
All the attacks from Titan right now have included the taken in A hallways. They've just walked up there, they get the kills on the 3D Max members that are waiting, and that's it. The A bomb side falls. Rotation, it comes in. People rotate in quick enough, but they can't hold it once they no longer have that control. And again, Maniac opening up. This time it's B side though. Double kill, triple kill. It's all pistols that he's fighting. They're doing a good job as well.
Yeah, keeping it real clean. Disturbed finally gets a kill out of this one, but that's it. Just one picking up Apex, and this is looking really good for Titan. This looks like almost a throwback to Dust 2, but the other way around. It's Titan with that really nice play towards A. As you said, we literally... Have they actually gone B once yet? Like, as a whole team?
No. They've just focused on the A-bomb side. I think Maniac just went B this round anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, we've got the 007 scoreline coming out from one member of 3D Max. And actually, RPK has the reverse one. He's got 7-0 and 0, so...
Yeah, and to be fair though, Zart's been playing drop down. Natu's been on that B-bomb side, so it's like they just... By the time they're in the game, it's retake time and it's already set up.
Yeah, it's not their fault right now. There is not a lot that they could do because they show up at a point in time where the rest of the teammates have died and the bomb side has already pretty much fallen. This time, the adjustment on 3D Max is actually saying, let's stop trying to control hallways. Let's fall all the way back and essentially just stay in CT spawn. That is not a bad idea, because the worst thing you can kind of do right now is just continuously playing the same strat and losing at it. So I'm glad they just switched it up, because they got to try something else. It's become obvious that Titan are pretty good at clearing those hallways.
They're great. A-Long has been just under their control, completely and utterly. And it's made time kind of switch up here. This is the first time they're starting to look towards B with some commitment. Zart will get himself on the board the first time they've actually put a foot towards drop down. So Existence in a good spot to maybe clear up because Zart is 3 HP, but still, not much ground gain. Zart now on towards the A side where actually the bomb's heading in towards, so maybe able to lend a hand here for the short time he's alive. But Apex finding Stonder's going to open this one up. Existence comes in through that connector, and it's A just dominated again by Titan. It's just hard to watch almost. If you put faith in 3D Max on that Dust 2 game and you're seeing this now, it's that French steamroll just coming through.
Yeah, I don't know what to say really.
Nope.
I mean, they got the entry frag, and Zart did a good job doing that.
Yep.
And then still was not quite enough. Kenny to take down Natu at the end. There was a good trick coming out though from the Titan team, because what Kenny actually did once he was all the way up and long, like right at the entrance into the A-bomb site, he put a smoke up towards the door in the the big door with the hinges on, going into middle, and then he started scoping towards the back of the site instead, because he knows that's the only way he can come out of there really. So trying to funnel the 3D Max members back up there didn't really work out, but I like the idea anyway. Maniac looking for another opening. It was a double last time. It's going to be a double again. This time not headshots. And actually, the third one comes in.
Rinse and repeat, right?
Oh, damn. That's hard to deal with.
That's just frustration. You're going to see it across 3D Max's faces. They are literally reliving how Titan felt on Dust 2 now, and then some. It's 8-0 now, 9. This is a masterclass in how to pretty much dominate this map on either side. And look at Maniac again. It's he's just so on point here. Just not even challenged, not even tagged up. Finally gets a little bit of damage in then, but resets on that recoil, takes it, and took his time on that shot too.
Yeah. It's incredible. 3D Max, whatever momentum they managed to carry over from Dust 2, and whatever they did earlier to beat Copenhagen Wolves on this map, none of it seems to really be, having any impact for them right now. They are just not connecting the dots here, playing CT side. I kind of want, at this point, I almost want them to go aggressive. Because now they tried pretty much everything else, and Titan have proved time and again that whatever it is they come up with, they've got the answer for. So, flip the switch and then try and see if you can't push in somewhat. I guess Natu's kind of doing that here.
Well, but I'm still worried even about A-Long. You can see that Disturbed and Stonda both getting out to this again. It's never gone well for them to this point, but once getting a trade on towards B, I guess that's better than nothing. So maybe the difference they needed here, Existence going to start eyeing up that drop-down room, bit of a molly exchange, and Apex, look at where he's got to. He's literally walked in between them. Stonda and Disturbed have pushed down. He's got himself in just a phenomenal spot here.
Yeah, and every second that ticks by, his team's just waiting here. They know at one point he's going to make the call.
If he spots them.
And there it is, the one, the double, and the bomb side is no more. This is so brutal. And I think these kinds of slip-ups are maybe an indication that Devilwalk and Vendetta were not far off the mark when they said, really 3D Max don't play this map so much. They're not quite sure, and they missed each other just by a little bit.
Yeah, this is kind of the 3D Max I expected to see in the previous game on this map almost, and when they were playing against the Copenhagen Wolves. I kind of expected this sort of scoreline. Even then, they somehow dug deep enough there, but here they just seem lost for an answer completely and utterly. They've picked up at least Apex, maybe punishing him a little for what he was pulling off in that round just then, but clearly not wanting to lose the AWP, even trying to catch a glimpse at the end. And it's full money across the board for the T side, and look at this. It's perfection watching this guy play, not only with the first, but the adjustment on the second was just brilliant. And it's 10-0. Titan barely looking pestered yet. Every single player having a good performance. Existence fairly quiet, but doing what he needs to. RPK as well, not even dying yet. Sadly, it seems like 3D Max have lost whatever they gained from Dust 2, whatever they gained from that first game as well against Copenhagen Wolves on this map. And it's back to maybe what we expected at the start of the tournament. But let's see if Titan can keep this up. I wonder if they can have the flawless half.
And, I mean, not to rub salt in the wound or anything, but now those incredibly close 1v1s, there were so many off on Inferno. It's like the further this game goes and the more painful it becomes, those rounds really start to matter because it could have been a victory on Inferno. Titan could have been 2-0'd by 3D Max at this very point in time, and
all the pain would be over.
Yeah, and instead, now they are getting thoroughly spanked.
Yeah, being pretty brutalized at the moment, if I'm honest. It's gone a little bit south. Existence does find Natu again. So this is what I mean with Existence. He's not doing like massive amounts of work, but good enough. But Stonda there, great flash work, predicting where Time we're going to head. Picks up Kenny S and RPK. I spoke of a clean half, and maybe, just maybe, 3D Max heard, and they're like, maybe not that far towards being absolutely...
That's pretty good.
Ravaged.
That's a pretty good offensive play there. And instead of just waiting around, because that's what 3D Max have been doing a lot, they actually just stand inside the bomb sites and wait until Titan go around the corner and peek them. And that's been working out great for Titan. Just like this, Stonda waiting inside. They have the AWP, but Existence out peeking him. 6 seconds left, they get the kill there, and they are just in time for the bomb plant. Kron gonna have to try and clutch it here. 1v2, he gets the first shot, goes for more, and there it is. Nice 1v2 for him, and a defuse, and finally, 3D Max gonna win a round.
Well, it took a while, and that was not pretty. That was just so close. Thanks to this man here, Stonda, that flash, that second follow-up was brilliant. It caught off 2 players, gave him that advantage, kind of gave away the game where Time we're heading towards, and it got everyone kind of on the right platform. But still, that was far too close to call a good round almost. It was far too, easily swung in Titan's favor, even after that huge advantage was forged so early on. But now 10-1, maybe 3D Max can build back every single round left, and they could salvage something from this. But I'm still just looking at Titan in awe here. This is them finding that form that we see hit so regularly, but not in every single map in a best of 3. It's 1s and 2s here and there. But Apex again, look at this. So confident. He's got to the same spot again, but with everyone still up on this map. And 3 players have joined in this time, and the rest of the CT side are nowhere.
Yeah, and they have no idea. Xant goes down. Kenny, Maniac, Apex. Wow.
Being torn from the inside out then. Apex just snuck his way up. He was so good at doing that. They know what they're doing. 3D Max have been read like a book, and literally Titan are walking in between those lines. You can just see Apex literally finding the best spot possible to open up for his team. And then even that time, everyone else followed. They're like, okay, well, it worked last time. Why would I not have faith in him to pull it off again? And that's put 3D Max in a dire spot here. They win one, lose one, and now look at that economy. It is just ravished. 2 P250s, and well, it's worked, I guess.
I mean, they get the opening kill there on Maniac, but...
you gotta take everything they can get at this point, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, making predictions is really hard because they seem to be working out somehow pretty much the opposite. Apex moving up quite aggressively, just going back and picking up the bomb, while the rest of the Titan team moving towards the B bomb site. See, Natu is holding in the back here with the USPS. Gonna be a little bit difficult to get a bunch of kills here. Xant, if he dared a crossfire, maybe they could pick up a couple. No.
A resounding Existence nope. And those mates may reiterate that point as well. They're now down 1 HP. It's looking like a bloodbath. They're trying to do what they can. You can see they're just looking lost for an answer on every single front. They try and push up a little aggressively. Then you get Apex walking around the middle. You play passive, they get picked to pieces. And it just seems like they don't know what to do with this now. I think the scoreline kind of reflects that a little bit.
12-1 and 3D Max. Maybe they could have tried to double eco or something like that, but the fact is they need all the rounds they can get here. So the buy involves FAMAS's 1M for a MP9 and just a 5-7 on Stunder here. You can't really blame them. You can't really say, you know, oh, why don't you do it in the 15th round? Just try and see if you could pick up one more here. It isn't really worth it.
No. They had to try something. Maybe this is what they just, you know, that little switch up, that little difference, as you said, like just try and find that adaptation some way or another. But obviously in round 14, it's not what you need. And you can see them trying to account out for Apex almost and then leaving long open. There's no simple answer to Titan. That's the thing. The way Titan are playing, they're so well-rounded.
Still would love to see some slightly more aggressive play coming out from 3D Max. And they've got the Sturd picked up here, flashbang on in. This might be exactly it, and it almost works. They nearly catch him. But Kenny with the return. That would have been such a good play.
It could have been something. It could have been a somebody. Sadly for them right now, it's not the case, and it's time once again just encroaching on this site, just kind of forcing their way in. And Kenny S finds Caron. He's looking for more. He's getting spammed out here, but he's still just, in this one he knows his teammates goes back. Maniac comes in from the other bomb site, makes way in from B on every single front now. 3D Max are getting taken apart. Natu does find Maniac, but still the 3 players who are already on A are just going to get that bomb down and set up. 19 seconds. He's got an AK, and he doesn't even get to keep that.
Oh, they are not taking any hostages on the Titan side.
Hell no.
Merciless at the moment. 1-13. We're into the 15th round. The first half of this third map here, but there is no doubt who is the better prepared team for it. The 3D Max, they didn't seem shaky, they seemed lost on this first half. Entirely lost.
Yeah, there's no easy answers. There's no, let's just try this. There is just nothing they know what to do on this. They're just out down, out fast, and Kenny S is looking confident. And that's a dangerous Kenny S. And we've seen this throughout this map. 16-3 for him, Maniac 17-7. And these guys just doing wonders. Sadly, you're gonna miss that shot there actually, Kenny, so you're gonna have to go back in for him. Why not go for these aggressive shots? Why not challenge on every front? Because they're at 13-1 right now. They can do whatever they want with this.
Yeah, it's really hard to believe that much is gonna change.
No.
And Titan are feeling it too. Another shotgun though in the hands of Caron. You never know, there was a second one on Stunder. If they can get close enough with them, they're pretty powerful.
They are. And bomb yet to commit. Still chilling out. And I kind of like that about Titan. They're just leaving the bomb back there until they get, the opening. They're still treating this, round by round. They're not, they're not going, just crazy, just running in. They're feeling confident. Yeah, they're going for it, but still playing out just how they've been this whole time, and once again it's paying out. Disturbed, last man in this, and he may not be at A-long this time, he may be in drop down, he's feeling just the same pain that sadly Zart's had this entire game. I mean, existence just raining in fury above him. And now with 15 HP, a CZ, just 5 people to take down. Bomb finally on the B-bomb side at least.
Oh.
And existence just pushes him to the ground. This is devastating. 14-1 after such a performance on map 2. And do you know what? Even if this ends in, the scoreline they may do with literally 3D Max having 1 round, I hope that no one forgets what sort of performance they put up to this point, because it's like night and day teams almost.
I don't think people will either. I mean, it's just absurd that 3D Max get to play 2 maps on Inferno against Titan, both of which they so very nearly win. Then they destroy them on Dust 2, and yet they can't take these best of 3s away from them.
And very vocally, Maniac says, I absolutely hate best of 1s, and you can see why, I guess. These guys excel in best of 3s, and they have that map pool variety that they can depend on. Sadly for other teams, when they've got those hit and miss maps, where sometimes they'll have these real strong performances, but they can't replicate that throughout. You can see the kind of disparity, I guess.
There's always a silver lining, and I think this time it has to be that 3D Max could make history if they could make this comeback work, but instead, look at this, Existence and RBK trying to see if they can pick up a couple of kills each, but they split them between the 2 of them. Stun, they're also down to half health, while the rest of 3D Max pushing into the B bomb side if they can. They have the bomb with them. Disturbed charging down with the Glock in hand, taking a fight, and not connecting that much. There's some damage dealt to Titan, but they're running out of players on the 3D Max side. Disturbed, and the smoke goes down to Maniac, and now it's Natu and Stonda left, and just Natu, the captain, alone.
And it seems though the captain may just be going down with the ship in this one. There we go, Apex will take it to match point. 15-1, this is not the way I wanted this game to close out. For Titan, it's probably exactly what they were looking for. And while they've got the P90s now beside them, a disgraceful gun in this sort of map, especially in those corridors, and the Tech-9 against it. So 3D Max, it's the last chance, and you're kind and ambitious saying that maybe they could make history here. I just don't see it happening.
You need, you
need the faith.
You need need to be right at the edge of like the greatest defeat ever to have to have the chance to make that kind of comeback. It's the glorious Hollywood type moment that we're waiting for.
And we're still waiting. Xant starts off well, but Maniac now flashed up. Still Flash just recovers. Karan comes in. And there we go, starting to build in towards the bomb site. They should have this round. Just Apex alive. The Tech-9s will overpower. 15-2 is the scoreline. And 3D Max, you said it. There's got to be a starting point, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, just a good 14 rounds in a row here.
Yeah.
They just got one of them, so 13 left into overtime and then taking it. I
know I'm a play-by-play caster, but let's not push my abilities of fluff and stuff here. All right, jeez.
Well,
if Titan have done it, in theory, it can be done back.
Exactly right. Natu gonna take down Existence here. They do have armor, but not head armor. So that P90 with a headshot's pretty lethal. I mean, Natu is the guy who coined it for us, the idea of the one round at a time mentality. So he's kind of the king of that.
And well, he's making it work, leading by example here, picking up 2 already in round 18. 3 left for the CT side. CZs, I believe, is the current weapon of choice between every single one of them. I was kind of curious if this was just a trend we were seeing through Katowice when the CZ was starting to get picked back up, especially on this map. We theorized the closer angles, made it work a little better, but seemingly Titan actually do quite like them and utilized it on Inferno as well. And this time 3D Max will close out the round. So very little damage done. Natu did fall in the end, but picking up 2 for himself. 3 rounds on the board. It's a long old road back here.
Titan not in a position to really buy here, and they should definitely save it.
Yep.
There are so many factors that go into making a comeback like the one 3D Max is maybe dreaming about possible. And one of the key elements seems to be having the opposing team more or less sort of mentally assume that they've already won the game. Like once that happens, it opens a window back in the game for you. There's a lot more that has to go your way, but it seems to be one of the key elements of it.
And I kind of hope then that Maniac kind of holds true to what he was saying, that they're not looking at the next game ahead, they're not looking at the semifinals, they're here, they're in this game, they're not looking at who they're playing next, and they're already assuming they've got this one in the bag. They're focusing on their opponent, they respect 3D Max. And I'm hoping we see that coming through here, because otherwise, as you said, windows of opportunity can form. However, 3D Max are being very clinical with this. Ooh, just getting caught out by RPK there. Natu swiftly dealing with 2, dispatching of RPK and Apex.
Nice 180 turn at the end, that was impressive. Yeah, but one of the signs that maybe Titan weren't taking it quite seriously, for me, would have been if they just kept buying up and saying, eventually it'll work, let's just keep going, right?
Well, let's hope that's not the case. And here we go, this is the big one. It's the gun round coming in. CT side may not have the ideal buyers. Kenny running without armor. But the T is going to put everything they have into this, looking like they want to at least head towards B to begin with. Whether or not they commit here, different matter, but Kenny is going to be boosted up. I think he might be just for a peek across to get that early control. Stonda on the other side as well. This is huge, and Kenny wins it out for Titan on this. Stonda going down, and that removes the AWP away from 3D Max for now.
Yeah, big start here. Natu charging in, flashes go up as well. Sark going to get the one kill. They weren't counting on the second player being right in that room, so now still a man lead. And it's map and match point for Titan. Has been for a while. Disturbed, looking over there. If he knows someone's dead, shooting through is definitely the option to go for. Kenny peeking out. Does get the shot, but can't quite finish up Disturbed yet. And they don't have any grenades to take it out either. Karan dropping almost equally as low, but then the return comes in. Look at this, Natu as well. There's a 1v2 for Apex. See if he can finish this match right now.
Karon so low, it may be a possibility, and the bomb does go down. 1v2, Apex gonna head in, spots out one, Karon does deny it, and they do hold on for the first gun round in the second half here. So, Naruto even breaking into a smile. That's maybe feeling okay on this one now. Thinking, okay, at least we've got 5 rounds here. How many more can we get? After that first kill came in, as soon as Kenny took down Stunder, I was like, well, no, it was a good attempt. It was a good start, but you know they're keeping themselves in this. And looking at the CT side, they're not forcing too much into this one either. Maniac, P250 and a bit of armor. Apex, a little bit of armor, CZ, but nothing crazy gone for, and they're just going to hold close, it seems.
Yeah, just evening out the economy and maybe seeing, you know, if the opportunity presents itself, if they really steal away a rifle, then they've got maybe a bit of a chance to do it. But should be a cleanup round here for 3D Max, and credits them playing T-side. They've been playing fairly consistently and not taking too many risks either.
Yeah, it's seeming like first time they're taking the bomb towards that A side. Disturb, though, has taken down RPK, so slightly weakened up on towards B. They know that Existence was playing their drop down. He was very close beforehand, and Natu looking away, just trying to molly it off. And it's caution. Caution is key, but look at Maniac pushing up so well. He will take down Disturb, goes in for more, a little bit too close for comfort there, as Karon will deal with him rather swiftly. And now 3v4. Apex, Kenny has an Existence, the last to be dealt with, the last threats on the board in round 21 here for 3D Max. Apex looking for that gun, looking for the AK. He's going to get it, actually. And he's going to have armor, an AK, and a CZ now to work with. If Kenny S can find anything, that would have been perfect, but it looks like Apex is just going to hold his own at the back. They're just trying to maybe wait if he can find anyone on the way out and see if he can deny 3D Max, you know, that little bit of happiness that they're looking for.
Well, it's going to be down to just a 9-round difference in a second here. Apex, the exit frags, not going to get a single one. Stunder executes him instead. He did not have head armor, so it's really painful with the pistol at that range. 6-15. And we're in the 22nd round. And what have Titan got? AWP on Kenny. A lot of equipment on everyone else as well. We're in this weird position now where we're just waiting. We can't possibly really imagine that 3D Max is going to make it work, but yeah, there's obviously going to come a time when they're going to be close enough that we'll start believing in it.
It is that state of flux, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't quite know where you're at, and it's a hard one to call. And I can imagine 3D Max are feeling the same way. As much as I'm sure theory crafting tells them to be focused every round, it's, you know, how much can they really live through? As I think Maniac caught a glimpse of one of the players there by drop downs, dropping up the molly quite early on. So at least, you know, they're pulling out some of the mollies from them, but RPK picking up the first is really not going to help this.
That's the problem with playing from the position that 3D Max is in right now, is you really do end up in this weird position where one mistake, one single slip up, and you've got the weight of the wall on your shoulders. You know exactly how close it is. Smoke goes off, RPK gonna jump all the way up. I'm not sure if they spotted him. I think they did. He does a lot of damage on through. Still ends up going down to Stunder. Existence with a good return, takes one, and that's almost a double kill. Exart and Stunder are very low on health here. One grenade, though they don't have one, would have finished it. Maniac actually only gets the one kill. They keep trading.
Still on Kenny. Oh, and Karon for the T-side 1v1. Kenny gets tagged. Oh, he misses the quick shot, but can he close it out? Oh, Kenny! Beautifully done, leaping towards him. Beautiful closer in the end for Titan, but you started to have faith almost at that point, didn't you? You started to think maybe there's something building. Maybe 6 rounds, then 7, and it trickles up and up and up. But Titan closed it down in the end, and the first time they got that full buy with those full mollies, those full smokes, full nades, everything they wanted. 3D Max, it seems that the road kind of just got stopped.
Yeah, I mean, they had such a brutal first half. They showed some strength at the end there, really trying to grind it out, but it was a rough third map for them, definitely. Gotta wonder if they could have had cash or something else instead. If anything, it seemed like could have been better for them. They were having a hard time there. Titan, that means they're through to the semi-finals. So that means we have our full list.
Yeah, it is, and I think they're going to be the ones to face off against TSM as well. So that'll be the first team they meet once they go through. So that's a big matchup.
Yeah, really rough matchup, I think, as well. They look good, but they don't look super good. They still have some very shaky moments every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
So back to the drawing board tonight, I think, for the Titan team.
I think so, and the funny thing is, if I'm recalling correctly, it was actually 3D Max who chose to play Cobble as that final map out of the ones that were left. So I'd like to see what the pick and ban phase was, to see what the other options were, just out of curiosity, maybe slightly morbid at this point, but still, a great game from start to finish. I think that it's going to be looking back at Inferno going, if only, Dust 2 going, oh my god, and then just that third map is just, you know, a whitewash of Titan.
I don't know. I mean, you want to say 3D Max should, like, you know, did you find a way to come up with one more round? But you could play Inferno so well. I mean, you can't really complain, can you? No. It feels like if they just replayed Inferno 10 times, it'd probably half the time 3D Max would win it, half the time Titan would win it. But this is one of the times where Titan did it. Upsetting.
A little bit. It was like you could see the underdogs getting so close and then denied at the end. But anyway, a great display from both teams, each showing some real individual brilliance across every single map we've seen. I think we've learned a little bit about 3D Max now that maybe I didn't know before. That Dust 2 play just changed even my world a touch. But still, that aside, it will be Titan to move forward into those semi-finals, going to be facing off against TSM in their next matchup, a huge one to kick off with. So I think it's enough from us. I think we need to get ourselves maybe to chill out a little while. That was a long old haul. Let's head to the stage with Sean and Maniac.
Thank you so much, Pansy. I'm joined by the wonderful Maniac Macho. Okay, well, let's start at the beginning. Did you expect Inferno to be so close?
Yeah, of course. Do you remember how we played the first Inferno against them? So we knew it would be hard. We knew there would be a fight, and there was indeed a fight. But the only thing that counted that we could took the map.
And then you go on to Dust 2, and there's the CT side. Talk us through that.
Well, I think what we did is we took way too much gamble. Like, okay, guys, let's be really strong on this zone right now. We need to be there at this time. And they just had the right idea, the right reaction. And every time we would push long way with 4 people, they would rush short. We would only let 1 people be, they would rush B. So they took all the good way, all the good decisions. So props to them for that. Their performance on this 2 is really impressive. And after that, yeah, we switched to T side. We tried to play very free and just go for the frags. But anyway, we were far too behind to come back. So we logically lost Dust 2, I think.
And then third map, you obviously take this big lead, and then they maybe feel there was talk of, is there a comeback on the cards? So what was going through your heads then?
I don't think the comeback was a possibility for us. All we knew is that we had to focus, stay calm, don't try to rush the end of the game, because that's usually what happens when you have 15 rounds. You would do mistakes and try to play quicker than you normally would because you want the game to be over. So we just thought, okay, guys, it's 15-5. We have our weapon, our setup. Just stay calm. Play the round as it is, and we finally gonna put the round in. I think we had 16-6, something like this. So yeah, we were kind of relaxed, actually, I must say.
That's a good way to be. Now, of course, Navi and Envious are already there tomorrow, and you final up the 4 with TSM. Talk us through what happens now. How does the rest of your evening look?
Well, from now on, everything is like bonus to us. I mean, we are in the playoff. We have to face TSM, one of the best teams in the world. They defeated us at Star Leather Pro Series, 2-1. It was a really close series for those who watched the game. So we have a revenge to take on them. We know we can. We had the possibility in Kiev and we missed it. So it's our time to shine. And we hope we can put a good show for the people.
Well, that's all we can ask you. So for now, say thank you so much for being awesome. You guys played fantastically. I'm sure you guys will be enjoying it. Thank you so much. Lots of good words there. Very open discussion. So I imagine that you, Machine, will have something to say about that.
Thanks very much, Sean. I think all we have to say about that was congratulations is in order for Titan, avoiding that curse of not necessarily entirely avoiding that curse. There have been some shock results from them and some kind of extra close games that may not necessarily have been necessary, but they get there, they clawed their way there, and we have our confirmed 4, as Sean has already said. Envy, Navi, TSM, and now Titan. Brackets are on your screen. You can see what's going to be going on tomorrow, and that's going to be going underway starting at 12 CET. So do be sure to put that in the calendar. Make sure you set your alarm clocks. I know what a lazy Sunday's like as a gamer. You're probably going to have to actually get up early in order to see that one. But either way, do be sure to tune in to see that one. I don't think there's too much that can be said. That Cbble game was just Titan. Yeah. All over.
They just dominated.
Exactly, and just to put it into perspective, how much they dominated. 3D Max had 2 entry frags that entire CT have. 2. The first one came in the 8th round, and the second one came in the 13th round.
Insane. Either way, though, that does conclude our day. It has been a day of CS and a real pleasure to bring it to you guys. Once again, I will reiterate, tomorrow is the semi-finals and the grand final, and that will be for the ESL Pro League finals to determine who is going to get that massive first place slice of the prize pot. Until next time, though, guys, we'll see you tomorrow.